Shalom, shalom, akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which would be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, which may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to get into a short lesson, and Lord willing, share a few articles and some pieces of information with you, Akiyam and Akwath, regarding the downfall of Mystery Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, aka America. You know, as we chant down this wicked queendom, we're going to come into tough times where this man is going to issue forth draconian laws. He's going to run this country as a technocracy, where technology is pretty much going to be the forefront of this man's rulership. And he's going to set up all manners of unrighteous decrees, 15-minute cities. He's going to delegate and control your coming and going. You're going to be tracked, all right, by a device, all right, the size of a grain of rice, which would be the MOTB, the mark of the beast, in reference to Revelations 13 and 16. And all these things are happening, while you people, starting with you, Jake, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, while you have your head wrapped around the ways of this place, man. All right, the customs, the folly. Okay, while you have your mind wrapped around all these things, this man's doing all these things behind your back, under your nose, man. You see, and ultimately you're going to get caught snared. Okay, but the beautiful thing about it is that Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai has this man in the snare. He's only going to get so far. Okay, with this fourth industrial revolution. All right, they've also coined as the New World Order. All right, he's only going to get so far with it, because ultimately Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai is going to bring this man down. And he's already doing it slowly but surely. It's already happening. And the Lord, what he's doing is he's attacking this place from the inside out. Okay, and that's what we're going to show you, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai in this lesson. And it's going to take divine power to remove this man. You see, because this is a great power. This is the greatest a kingdom to ever be erected, okay, on the planet. You see, so it's going to take divine power, a divine visitation by our power, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and efforts to remove this man. Okay, and that's exactly what's going to occur. So through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, the first scripture I want to get into before we get into some information, let's go to the book of Obadiah real quick. All right, there's only one chapter here. So let's go to let's start at verse 3, and it reads, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock." And we understand Esau was dwelling in Petra, all right, Mount Seir, okay, where he was at the bottom of the bottom, and there was nothing under him, man. Okay, wearing clothes until they disintegrate off him. All right, his old lady picking fleas out of a private joint. You see, all man is filth and profanity going on amongst their family, units. Incest, bestiality. You had Job, I believe, what's that, Job 30. It's written He wouldn't even let his dogs. He wouldn't even let him lay by his dogs, man. Cause Esau, you know what Esau would do with him? He'll he'll sexually offend him. You see, because this man's profane. You see, and a very proud creature, the proudest creature to ever be created. Okay, so proud that he's deceived, as we're reading here. He's fooled himself, okay, into thinking that he's going to be able to fight against Yahweh Shai upon his return. But it's going to be a feeble attempt at best, man. Continuing on, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right, and blame Esau for the skyscrapers you see in your downtown district. All right, in your chief places of concourse where you may reside, man. All right, this man has turned the earth into a concrete big cave, man. That's why there's cement everywhere. You see, this man done laid cement out everywhere, man, because it reminds him of Petra. It reminds him of the caves. You see, and he thinks he ain't gonna go nowhere. That's why it says, who shall bring me down to the ground? In this man's mind, he cannot be moved. But if we continue reading, what he's going to find out is this. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1. Let me shut this down. In verse 4, and it reads, bear with me. And that's just the devil working. The book of Obadiah, chapter 4, and it reads, the book of Obadiah, verse 4, chapter 1 and verse 4, and it reads, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and you can see that's their mascot. That's been all these Edomites' mascot, all right, the eagle. Why? Because it's a proud bird, the highest flying bird. Okay? And though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, you see, we see, and the nest is likened unto where you would store weapons, man. When you look that word up, okay? When you look that word up, I believe under the synonym. Matter of fact, we're gonna go get it. Though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. You see that? So ultimately, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is gonna take this man down. Bear with me. Let's get this word nest real quick. Now let's get into the Merriam. Nest, right? When you get it in the synonym on the Merriam, under the 6th definition, it says what? An emplaced group of weapons, man. Okay, and we know this man has direct energy weapons. All right, in the form of these satellites in the heavens, man, where he calls himself preparing for the return of the Lord. We understand he has the, the 6th branch of the military, right? The Space Force, right? They have the the space station, all right, orbiting around the earth, right? So this man has set his nest, okay, among the stars, man. But guess what? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to bring you down, as it's written. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to move you out the way. And we can see that happening slowly but surely. Let's go here to this first article. This is from Zero Hedge. All right, and it's dated January 1st, 2024. And the title reads, Rome was eternal until it wasn't. Imperial analogs of decay. And we understand that America, okay, is the rehabilitated version, all right, of the fallen Western Roman Empire. You see, this is that the seventh head that was wounded to death, okay, but it was healed. You see, and what? This is Babylon the Great, aka America, man. You see, and Rome was a powerful kingdom. You see, them Romans didn't think they would ever be moved either. FYI, they were Edomites. Okay, that was the second. That was the second rulership of the Edomites, man. Okay, they manifested as the Greeks. You see, initially under Antiochus Epiphanes, man. You see, and their second greatest kingdom was the Romans, man. All right, Western Roman Empire fell. All right, they got subjugated over there in Europe. All right, where they were through for 1,000 years. All right, which was the time of the Byzantine Empire. These Edomites call it the Dark Ages. But this is when they were living inhumane. You see? But anyway, Rome was eternal until it wasn't. You see? And that's the mindset they have. They have the mindset that they're eternal. Let's get this word eternal for edification.
Eternal.
Eternal. Right? Lasting or existing forever, without end or beginning. This is the mindset of Esau. This is his mindset. That's why when we read in Obadiah, it said what in verse 3? He said, who shall bring me down to the ground, man? Thinking his kingdom, his rulership is never ending, thinking it's endless, thinking it's without end, thinking it's immortal. He's trying to set up a synthetic immortality in the form of linking man with machine. But that's also going to be a feeble attempt at best. You see? And what you're gonna find out is that, like Rome fell, so was Babylon the Great, and they're fallen and similar, and Babylon's fallen, damn near identical to how Rome fell. All right, and that's what we're gonna show you here in this article, real quick. Right? Let's I want to get to the point here. Let's start here. And Lord will, I'll leave this article in the description box for you, Akiyam and Akwaf, to read it in its totality. I just want to get a few points real quick. All right, and it reads, right, what conclusions can we draw from the recent research and the voluminous work done by previous generations of historians? Our first conclusion is simply to state the obvious. It's complicated. There was no one cause of Western Rome's decay and collapse. A multitude of factors generated feedback, loops, and responses over hundreds of years, some more successful than others. Indeed, we cannot help but be struck by how many times impending collapse was staved off by brilliant leadership and policy adjustments. Yeah, and that word staved goes into like pretty much delayed, but that's not going to be the case, okay, with Babylon. All right, we're at the final seconds of Babylon, man. There's going to be no staving off the judgment that's written. You see, and we know this through the biblical prophecies, okay, that are springing forth. That's how we know that. That's why we can say that confidently. You see, our second conclusion is to distinguish between the erosive forces of decay and critical vulnerabilities that can trigger collapse. All right, I'm going to jump down to the point. Let's get this. In the case of Western Rome, these included, right, the depletion of the silver mines in Spain and the eventual loss of Spain to the Visigoths. Once you run out of hard currency, your free spending days are over. And in this time, I mean, this is not real currency. All right, this fiat dollars, paper money. True currency, okay, true wealth is the resources, man. Gold, silver, all right, land, cattle, the resources of the earth. You see, that's true currency. This is monopoly money. Esau got y'all playing with. Okay? And you can see that's completely inflated. This man's in debt by the trillions, man. Okay? Hey, fun time is over real soon. Let's continue on. This dependence on large quantities of hard currency to fund your armed forces is a trigger for collapse. You see that? And let's not speak about his armed forces, man. We're going to touch on that in a second. But you can see there's a complete deterioration in that sector as well. All right, let's get this. Dependence on revenues from foreign trade. You see that? With India, Africa, and Central Asia. Western Rome's income was highly asymmetric, depending heavily on import duties from foreign trade funneling through the Red Sea and the Roman ports in Egypt. Many of Rome's far-flung provinces were net drains on the imperial coffers. Rather than generate income, they were costs. You see that? And we see a schism, okay, within this man's trading sector as well. Because here it is, the BRIC nations. Lord willing, we're going to touch on that. All right, the BRIC nations are trying to actually do away with the fiat currency, man. And completely. Okay, and if they do that, that's pretty much going to be a deletion blow. Okay, to Babylon's economy, man. You see? Let's continue on. All right, military defeats. All right, this was another thing that hindered Rome. Right? In his recent book, right, The Fall of the Roman Empire, A New History of Roman and Barbarians, historian Peter Heather persuasively argues that the Roman Empire was neither on the brink of social or moral collapse, nor fatally weakened by resource depletion. What brought it to an end were the barbarian invasions from what is now Germany and Eastern Europe, mass tribal movements triggered by the Huns pushing into Europe from the east. No, this played a part of it, okay? Because we know Rome stretched their military way too thin, okay? And again, as far as their currency was concerned, they were out of there. And they were also hindered in trade sector, okay, with wheat, as we're going to get here. All right, 4, dependence on wheat, all right, from North Africa. All right, and isn't it a coincidence? There's a wheat shortage, real time. Biden even mentioned that. You see, the crops are hindered. A famine's coming real soon. That's another thing you people ain't ready for. But anyway, let's continue on. Dependence on wheat from North Africa. Rome depended entirely. You see that? Rome depended entirely on the breadbasket of North Africa to feed its populace. Once the Vandals swept through Spain and conquered North Africa, cutting off Rome's supply of wheat, the empire was doomed. You see that? Okay, and between famine and a weak military, man, this place is gonna be left defenseless, man. You see, and we know the military's through. All right, there's gonna be a draft, and they're so desperate. As a matter of fact, check out this picture. These niggas are through. Check this out. All right, they're trying to even carter back their senior citizens, man, to serve. You see that? And I came across this picture when I was looking at some articles, man. And I took a snap at it through the spirit. This is how desperate their military is, man. They're trying to persuade the senior citizens to come back and on the squad because they're lacking bodies. You see? This is how flimsy, okay, their military sector is, man. Let's go back. Let's continue on. All right, now 5, right? Incompetent leadership. Western Rome and every empire, if we look closely, was critically dependent on competent leadership when faced with existential threats, all right, to the empire's cohesion. We can cite Marcus Aurelius and Constantine as 2 examples of many, right? And you see the example that's leading this place today, which they're puppets, but you have Biden. He's obviously not competent. Okay, to have fallen upstairs, all right, more than one time. All right, but needless to say, we understand that they're puppets, and ultimately, there's no more wisdom in teaming. Ultimately, either way, the cookie crumbles. Even though the global elite, are setting these certain individuals up. As we can read, and what's that? Jeremiah, the 49th chapter. The Lord's taken the wisdom from Edom. Let's go get that real quick. So you can see that how Western Rome fell is through the spirit. Babylon's falling the same way, real time. Real time. They're suffering financially, economically, okay, agriculturally, militarily. You see? There's a a divide amongst the people. You see, backhanded deals going on amongst their governmental parties. A lot of backhanded dealing. Money's inflated, food's inflated, rent's inflated, the cost of living is inflated. You see, these are signs of a declining kingdom. All right, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49 and verse 7, and it reads concerning Edom, right? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies, is no more wisdom in Teman. Salakia, is wisdom no more in Teman? You see, and those Temanites are the Germans, man. Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Okay, and when you step back, all right, and take a glance, all right, at the decision making they're making, okay, you come to the conclusion that they're lacking prudence, man. They're getting sloppy, moving quick, right? What's that? Project Warp Speed, right? Okay, looking through. Okay, and while they're fumbling the ball all over the place, all right, you got the East, all right, in the form of the BRICS nations. Right, check this out. This is from watcher.guru, all right, .news, right? And then this is from January 1st, 2024 as well. And the title reads, 5 U.S. sectors to be affected, all right, if BRICS ditches the dollar for trade. And we just read the 5 sectors of Rome that were affected. Salakia. All right, now, this is quite similar, all right, real time, via what? The revival of Western Rome, which is America. All right, now we know the BRICS nations to be, Brazil, Russia, India. You have China and South Africa. With pretty much, Russia leading this charge. All right. Now their goal is to ditch the dollar. Now, there was an article I came across 2 days ago. I can't find it. And pretty much India, made their first oil trade deal with the United Arab Emirates. And you Aki Aminakwath can look that up. I couldn't find the article. I should have snagged it when I found it, but it was all through the spirit. But needless to say, right, let's get into this a little bit. Check this out. The BRICS alliance is looking to suffocate the U.S. dollar by using local currencies to settle cross-border transactions. BRICS members, India, China, Russia, the UAE, right, and Saudi Arabia, have already started using local currencies for international trade settlement. See that? So they're already making moves, man. China and Russia are advancing and convincing other developing countries to follow suit and cut ties with the U.S. dollar. You see that? The move could be devastating to the U.S. economy, as America will find it hard to fund its deficits, or its deficit. Okay? Now, mind you, America is the largest importer on the planet. You see, so this is a direct blow to the stance, all right, to the pivot of Babylon, man. They'll be knocked off their pivot. All right, they're being knocked off their pivot, man, as the BRICS moves in with turning their back on U.S. currency, man. You see, and ultimately, her allies are gonna turn on her, man. All right, this is we're seeing the beginning stages of Revelation 17 playing out. We're seeing the beginning stages of it. As a matter of fact, I want to read into this a little bit more, but let me go get this real quick. The book of Revelation, chapter 17. I'm going to start at verse 18 and read up, and it reads, "And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth." Right, Mystery Babylon the Great. All right, the whore that sits on many waters. Revelation 17 and 17, "For Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai be fulfilled," man. All right. See, so you have the European Union and the NATO, all right, agreeing with this whore in efforts to what? Fulfill Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's desires, man. See, all that were at peace with thee are gonna what? Turn against them, man. Obadiah 1 and 7. Right? Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns, right? The European Union, right? Which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. See, Babylon, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. You see that? Hey, this is prophecy. And it's going to be Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to influence this mindset upon the kings. As is written in Proverbs 21 and 1. All right, the heart of the kings is in the hands of the Lord, man. Right, the minds of the kings. That word heart in the Hebrew is live, man, which is your mind. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is in full control. And through the angels, he's working on the minds of these kings of the earth to fulfill his will. Let's go back to the article real quick. Let's get a little more. See, ultimately, Babylon the Great is going to be left desolate, man. This is going to come into fruition. You see? That nation from the north country is going to reign up, is going to descend upon her, man. With other nations with them. You see? With Russia. All right? They're coming from the northeast. And they're not going to be alone, man. They're coming in the form of these BRICS nations. And again, also Babylon's allies, man. As is written in Revelation 17, what we just read. Her own allies are going to come against her, man. You see, let's continue on. If the U.S. fails to import the dollar, the currency will circulate back to the homeland and lead to inflation. We already there, right? The move could make prices to skyrocket with housing, rent, and basic daily necessities. We already there. We're all feeling affected in those areas, man. I'm sure you, Akim and Akwat, can attest to that, right? Will turn expensive and unaffordable. It's not to the point where it's crazy unaffordable, but it's getting up there, right? In this article, we will highlight the 5 American sectors that could be affected if BRICS ditches the U.S. dollar for trade. Now let's jump down real quick. Let's get a little bit of this. A total of 5 U.S. financial sectors could be affected if BRICS stops using the dollar for international trade. The financial sector that could begin to decline, including banking, foreign exchange, tourism, and production. Below is the 5 sectors that will be impacted if the U.S. dollar is not used for settlements among BRICS members. Man, check this out. All right, banking will be affected, finance, technology, and fintech, international trade and investment, consumer goods and retail, right, travel and tourism. Right, first and foremost, the banking and the financial sector will be the hardest hit as foreign exchanges will begin to decline. Secondly, BRICS is looking to create their own internet services and not depend on American technology for news and social media. See that? They plan on completely turning their back, okay, on this whole, in this totality. Right. Thirdly, foreign investors will stay away from the U.S. dollar, right, as the debt crisis and deficit will only worsen, man. In addition, if the U.S. dollar comes back home, the cost of day-to-day essentials will become further expensive. Finally, tourists will begin to pay local currencies for their travels and leave the U.S. Dollar behind. China and Singapore are already making tourists to pay in local currencies in their respective countries and not the U.S. dollar. In conclusion, BRICS has several schemes up its sleeves that is aimed to hurt the prospects of the U.S. dollar. Moreover, if the Biden administration does not act quickly to counter BRICS, stopping the dollar's decline could become much more harder, man. And again, as we mentioned in the beginning of this lesson, you know, it's gonna take a divine power in the form of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to move this whole out of the way. You see? But you better believe, hey, do the acts of the Lord as he brings calamities upon this place from the inside out. She gonna be bleeding from the mouth, okay, upon the return of the Lord Yahweh Shai. You see? And you inhabitants of Babylon are gonna suffer tremendously, man. You see? Because these nations ditching the dollar is gonna be a blow, all right, to this import superpower. Okay, let's go ahead real quick. The book of Revelation. Let's go back to Revelation. Let's go to chapter 18. And let's start at verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, right? How did they commit fornication with her? Dealing with her money, right? Lived deliciously with her, got dirty rich off her, man. Why? Through trade. Remember, she's a major importer, the biggest one on the planet. Google it, right? Shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, man. You see? Because Yahweh Bashim Shah is going to send missiles on this place, man. That's why. You see? And we're going to show you that, right? Standing afar off for the fear of the torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, right? That mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. You see? It's going to take 1 hour for Yahweh Bashim Shai to delete this place, man. Check this out. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. You see? Check this out. The merchandise of gold, silver, precious stones, and of pearls, fine linen, purple, silk, scarlet, and all thine wood, right? And all manners of vessels, ivory, and all manners of vessels, and most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, cinnamon, odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men, right? And the fruits that thy soul lasted, Salakia. That's the point. That's the point I want, right? Slaves and souls of men. You see that? So, hey, this place is going to come to a standstill upon the visitation of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You see? Before he turns it into what? A burnt mountain. Let's go here. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49. So, like, I want chapter 50. Bear with me. There it goes. Right here, this is what I want. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and verse 8, and it reads, remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the goats before the flocks. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, man. This is talking about the BRICS nations. You see, in the form of Russia, India, Brazil, China, South Africa, and many more, man. Iran. Hey, from the looks of it, from a glance, hey, Turkey, but via biblical prophecy, pursuant to Ezekiel, what's that, 38? See? And we already see, hey, Turkey's leaning towards the BRICS. See, prophecy is gonna walk you people down at the end of the day. You see? Because prophecy don't lie. Let's read this from the top. For lo, I will raise up the cause up. Salakia. For lo, Jeremiah 50 and 9. For lo, let's blow this up. For lo, Jeremiah 50 and 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, right, which is America, an assembly of great nations from the north country, the BRICS nations, Russia leading the charge, right? And they shall set themselves in array against her. See, array, what? That's a military formation, man. That's a battle stance, right? And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. See? Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain, man. You see? That's the end game. This is the end game for Babylon right here, man. You see? This is gonna be the judgment in its perfection. But prior to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai visiting in this place with the judgment written, he's going to choke it out. He's going to choke it out. Every way, shape, and form. Monetarily, economically. Right? He's going to choke it out in the form of the crops being tainted. Right? Food source being scarce, right? Famine, pestilence, teeth of wild beasts, uproars of the people. See, this is what's coming, man. We're entering into the final hour, or rather final moments. I like that word better, of Mystery Babylon the Great. And it's going to go down by violence. Let's close out right here. Revelations 18 and 21, and it reads, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and it shall be found no more at all. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to turn this place into a burnt mountain, man. And it's going to be left as a memorial, okay, for all you heathen nations, okay, in regards to the consequences that come upon you, okay, when you strive against the Lord, okay, the power, the God of Israel, man. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Lord willing, you Akiyam and Akwaf were edified. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kwadash. Shalom.